I'm Fern Smith. I'm a visual artist. I'm also community orientated. I'm a feminist. I'm a lesbian. I was born in Ferntree Gully, so you could say, oh, that's where she got her name from. But also my grandfather was called Ferdinand, so it could have been after my grandfather. Also, my mum liked the environment, so it could have been called after the environment. There's a whole lot of things that I do that are part of me. And I suppose when you look at a tree, it's got many leaves. I've got lots of leaves, but it's all part of me. But I try and describe all of that visually, so that's why I'm a visual artist. I was sort of a fairly happy kid. I always liked getting what I wanted, and I think I've remained that way all my life. And I also lived in community, so like you have your mother and father, but because both my parents in my early childhood were both sick, there was always a community looking after us. Also, I don't see family as a linear thing. So when I was born, I saw my brother Perry as a brother. I also saw Sweeney as my brother because I saw him equally, but he didn't live at home with us. Then when my mum died, there was Brett and Matty, and they became part of our lives. And then my sister got born, and then she was part of the family. To try and synthesise all of that is hard. However, how I see my mum, I see her in she's in a couple of different pockets, or 3 different pockets. So one pocket is the pocket that I keep for myself, which is the loving mother, and I love her. About my mum, Joy, she's this big person in the Victorian world of being an artist. And why she's big is that her work is emotive and her work is really honest. However, when people look at her life and then try and analyse it or write about it, often they treat her as a woman and a housewife. The strongest memory I have of my mum is that there was a big storm and she told me that storms are beautiful and that you should embrace a storm and go out and be part of that storm. And I just always have taken that as part of my life path. A dear friend David Turnbull gave me a great big box and he said, keep all your drawings and put them in the box and put it under your bed and just keep them for a year. And then one day he came back and said, what's in the box? Let's have a look. So we had a look and stuff and he said, oh, well, it's time to have an exhibition now. So he took me through that process. I've had a studio of my own, a room of my own, since 1990. I'm so lucky. Before that it was the kitchen table. I had spent, I suppose, since 2009 learning how to create art by using sustainable practice. There's just so many materials that are free and accessible. And that's how you make quick glue, instant glue. And now I'm going to time it. Everything that is in a kitchen you can actually create art from. So from your waste paper, from the dyes, from the foods, you know, like your corn flour and stuff, and your pots and your pans and your spatulas and all of that. You could actually make art from a kitchen. And I've just made myself a nice little nasty knot here. I'll undo this and I'll unfurl the paper pulp. Which I love doing. And then I put it in this handy little bucket. The project I'm currently working on is called The Sea is Sinking, and it's a large community art project. And what is it? It's a immersive, interactive installation, high contemporary art content created by community.
So it's sort of like...
Oh, look at this one.
Yeah, that's the Port Phillip Bay spotted
Mallard.
So you can paint something like that if
Yes.
it's a real Port Phillip Bay one.
Exactly. It needs to be under something.
Of course it does, Fern.
Otherwise it...
I won't be able to get it off.
One of the people that come to the studio, Nick, he made this fish. He made it from cutting out the ripples in a fruit box and then sticking it together and turning it into a fish. Ooh. Well, I think I was always bisexual. Anyway, over the fence I go. My son watched me go through the transition. He accepted it, and he's always been proud of it as well. So with his friends, he said, my mum, the lesbian, or, you know, she's got a cheeky babe, you know, and he was just a little kid when he was saying that. So I just love him to pieces for his acceptance of me. When you actually get to know someone, it's like walking into their jewellery box. You see all this stuff that glistens and it's beautiful and it's precious. Whatever we do, we're always together and we're always laughing, you know, and yeah. One of us had to go to hospital and they wanted to know who the next of kin was. And Gabrielle said that she was next of kin and they didn't accept her as next of kin. My glasses. Whatever I produce, it can go into the compost pit and I know it's not going to affect the waterways. A tree can grow from it and I'm happy. Really give up cooking, create art and be a lesbian. When it's all finished, we don't have to warehouse it because warehousing art, big business. So we want to get rid of that big business. So we want to turn it into a compost heap and grow a community garden.